All right. So I'm going to give her a chance to kind of get these little wiggles out. I'm not going to really require too much of her, aside from the fact that I'm not going to let her drag me anywhere. How could I be of value? What's something that people do that I'm always like, ugh, that's not going to work? Constantly like pulling back on a leash to keep a dog from like passing you and stuff like that. There's this thing called like opposition reflex. I don't really get into too much of the fancy vernacular about this kind of thing, but like the more you do that, the worse it gets. What the comparison that I make is like the more you piss the Hulk off, the more agitated he's going to be, and the more pissed off he's going to become. So it makes it worse, right? To break it down in layman's terms and shit. So let's talk a little bit about how to get a dog into a little bit more of a follower state of mind. Now, granted, I don't have to do this drill with a prong collar. You guys, if you're coming from the prong collar video into this one, I could use a slip lead, I could use a flat buckle, because the idea is to get this dog to follow the pressure. Awesome. If they'll take food, great. This is a super nervous dog, so I actually wasn't expecting her to take the food. But what we're rewarding is, there's two rewards here. So if she goes that way, and I just stand here and stay true to what I want from her, boom. The reward is going to be the pressure coming off. So the leash will go from being tense to a drape. So it's tense, I step back to a drape, and I'm going to click and I'm going to pay that. So the reward is, okay, there's no more pressure on you, but also follow this pressure. Good. And you're going to get a piece of food as well. Okay, but I'm going to put the food away for now, and we're just going to do these directional changes. She thinks she's just going to take me wherever she wants to take me. She's already had her potty break this morning. So what I'm going to do is, you're not going to see me like pull all this constant pulling and pulling and pulling. I'm just going to kind of change directions. Nice. I'm going to kind of use the leash as a steering wheel. I'm going to change directions a lot. Okay, now this is going to be actually kind of like a mentally and physically exhausting drill for her, because she's wanting to make like 5,000 choices on her own. She wants to go do all this other stuff. But what I'm requesting from her is that she follow me right now. So there's going to be a ton of directional changes like this. She's going to pass me, and I'm just going to... Good. I'm just going to use a verbal marker for right now. Good. Every time she tries to go fuck off and do whatever it is she wants, I'm going to have an answer for that with a little bit of step back, leash pressure. Good girl. And all I'm doing is I'm actually speaking to her through the leash right now. I can't talk this dog into following me. I have to have a strategy in order. There has to be a way to teach her to follow without frustration, without all that stuff that people experience because they just don't really know how to get a dog to follow them. And again, she does have her prong collar on, and she's feeling that a little bit. Every time she does this and I keep that tension, she feels it, and then she follows it, and then she gets paid. So essentially we're conditioning this sensation of like this pressure that she feels on her neck as a positive, because it's like she feels it, yes. Draped leash, piece of food. So it's all, we're painting a clear picture for her. Okay, we're painting a very clear picture for her. So the days of her, when it's time to walk with her owner, the days of her just dictating where the walk goes, at the speed, at the pace, are over. Because right now, she's learning to follow. And you'll see. She's gonna, the more you do this, you'll start to see the dog follow the pressure quicker. So when you hear a dog trainer say, yeah, you gotta teach them to follow the pressure, this is the drill that they should be doing in order to get them to do that. And again, this is our very first session. She's never felt good. Good girl. She's never felt what it's like to walk in a nice, calm, perfect heel position. And I could always tell as soon as I put a dog on a leash, I could tell if they've ever had any experience walking like a lady or a gentleman. The leash is the steering wheel, And we like to use e-collars as well, and we like to consider the e-collar a cell phone. Now that's a video and a topic for another time. But I think the most underutilized and underrated tool in the game is the leash. Leash handling skills. If you have leash handling skills, boy, I tell you what, life gets a little bit better between you guys. And this understanding, I'm not in a fucking rush. So if I head out the front door and we're going on a walk, she might think she's in a fucking rush, but I'm gonna immediately go into this drill right here. And we are not to enter the walk until she understands where she needs to be. Okay, and that doesn't really necessarily involve a lot of words, man. I mean, you guys, I'm sitting here talking to you guys this entire time, and as you could see already, what's it been? 6 minutes? Passes me, pressure, steering wheel. I'm a lefty, so I keep the dog on my left-hand side all the time. Change directions, and what I try to do is I try to break my record, meaning like, she's in a heel, this is great. She's in a heel, this is great. I'm gonna have to switch directions though. So I would keep her on the same side, keep it consistent. If I stop, she's over there, boom, turn. And I try to get 10 steps. So if I get 8 steps in a good heel position, my goal next would be to get to 9 steps. Does that make sense? It's all incremental. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff in dog training where it's incremental wins, where we're not really expecting, we're not expecting a dog to just be able to go in a perfect heel right away. So I go 10 steps, great. 11 steps next time, 12 steps. And then we could start, expecting a little bit more out of them. And once we sort of taught them this, now that they kind of understand that this is where we are, if there's ever a situation that comes up where she needs a little bit of help or a little bit more clear communication like we talked about in the previous video, if you haven't watched my prong collar video, go check out the videos. You're going to want to watch that. You could start incorporating a little bit of leash correction, right? So if she passes me, but she's not like so if she's like speeding past me, I'm changing directions. Okay, that's just what I'm doing. But if she's barely starting to like inch out in front of me, let me see if I could give you a little example. I'll just be like, hey, and then I'll just continue on. Because it's just my way of informing her, hey dude, I haven't given you like the go-ahead to go be a free dog right now. This whole time I've been suggesting to you that you're gonna be walking in a nice heel next to me because we need this control. And listen, before I end this video, there's nothing happening right now. You could see that she's kind of like creating competing motivators. She sees a bush over there or whatever, and she wants to go get it. If we can't get what you just saw us get here without any distractions, we can't get it out there. And that's why when we're practicing a new thing with a dog, it's super important to teach them with limited to no stimulation around them so that when it does arise, when those stimulants do arise, the dog has something to fall back on. You've already practiced this. And since you've already practiced this, you shouldn't feel so bad to ask a little bit more from the dog. Does that make sense? I'm a relationship-focused dude. I like to be as fair as I possibly can with dogs, and that involves teaching them. If I don't teach them, I can't really expect much from them. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. If it helped at all, if you got anything out of it, don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. That really helps us get into the algorithm on YouTube a lot better. And this is TFE TV, man, where my goal will be to help you guys become better dog owners, man. All right, so Captain Chad, this is Oakley. We're going to continue doing this for a little bit, and then I'm going to go put her back in her kennel, probably go hit the gym, okay, now that winter's coming. Anyway, I love you guys, man. I appreciate you so much. Peace.